What is going on, everyone? A disappointing and heartbreaking loss today. The Texans fall to the Carolina Panthers 15-13. The Panthers get their first victory of the season. Man, we talked about this being a statement game, not only for the Houston Texans, but for CJ Stroud. For the Houston Texans, it was start your playoff push right now. Start separating yourself from the lower tier of the NFL. And with CJ Stroud, it was the number 1 overall pick, Bryce Young, versus the number 2 overall pick, CJ Stroud. I definitely thought this offense was going to be the reason why the Houston Texans won, but it was the reason why the Houston Texans lost. If you ask me, what is the main reason why the Houston Texans did not walk out with the victory? I will look at the offensive performance, man. We're going to talk about it. Welcome, everyone, to the 713 Houston Sportcast. I am your host, Ruben Calvillo. I drop daily Houston Texans content, win, lose, or draw. So make sure you guys are following me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok for the latest news, rumors, and updates. And if you guys are new here to the channel, welcome. If you were part of today's live stream, we had about 1,200 people check in throughout the entire time. It was a great day. Wish we could have ended up with a W. Hopefully next week we get to witness a Houston Texans victory together. But like I said, man, just a disappointing loss today. This would have been a great moment for the Houston Texans. You start the second half with your season on a high note. Then you can start looking at the trade deadline. Not saying the Houston Texans can't do that now. I still expect the Houston Texans to be looking to better their roster, not for right now, but for the future. And with the playoffs, right? The playoffs, not saying that's out of the question now, but that goal does get a little bit harder with today's loss. I look at the offensive performance. CJ Stroud, 16 of 24, 140 yards, no touchdown, no INTs, and a quarterback rating of 81.9. Not the type of game that we are used to seeing from CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud, until today, was playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But it seems like the Panthers defense had them in check. But then when I look at the rest of the offense, it just wasn't there either. The rushing attack, once again, a underwhelming performance. Dameon Pierce, 12 attempts, 46 yards, 3.8 yards a carry. Devin Singletary, 10 rushes, 30 yards. Dameon Pierce only got 2 more rushes than Singletary. Tank Dell, 3 rushes for 15 yards. Mike Boone, 1 for 5. Andrew Beck, 2 for 1. The Houston Texans used 5 different people to run the football. We knew coming into this game that the Panthers had one of the worst run defensives in the NFL, and the Texans tried to exploit that, but they couldn't. Also, I do not know how many times CJ Stroud threw the ball in the fourth quarter, but it might have been less than 10. The Houston Texans took the ball out of CJ Stroud's hand, and we know that since week 1, this passing attack has been the Houston Texans offense. I was very surprised by the amount of time CJ Stroud threw in the fourth quarter. That's why he looked kind of upset. And he commented on the offensive performance. This is from Aaron Wilson. CJ Stroud, I'm not saying I'm playing terrible, but I'm not making the plays I want to make. We got to be explosive like we want to be. We got to take some shots and be more explosive and make some plays down the field. We can't let them dictate us. That's me getting more trust from the coaches. We have the talent to be explosive. We've shown, if not top 5 offense, top 10 offense. We can do it, got to call it and run it. That's why we haven't been consistent. Bobby Slowick has done a great job calling it. Hopefully, we'll start being a little bit explosive. Explosive used about 5 times in this paragraph. CJ Stroud takes some accountability for today's offensive performance, but also throws a subtle jab at Bobby Slowick. He wants to take more deep shots. Let CJ Stroud air that thing out. He's been doing it all season. I'm not sure why he didn't do it today. The Carolina Panthers were without their safety, Jeremy Chin, without J.C. Horn, a kind of depleted secondary, and the receiving core was just not there today. Your leading guy was Noah Brown, 3 catches, 57 yards. Nico Collins, another no-show. 4 catches for 30 yards. Tank Dell, happy birthday, but 3 catches, 16 yards. Devin Singletary, 2 for 13. Mike Boone, 1 for 11. Dalton Schultz targeted 5 times, but only 2 catches for 5 yards. And Andrew Beck, 1 catch for 8 yards, the one that he fumbled and gave the Carolina Panthers great territory to start their offense, but just not a good performance. You know, I would say this was probably the worst performance from this Houston Texans offense all season. I do think it gets better. Once again, this is a very young Houston Texans team. When I look at the defense performance, I mean, I couldn't ask for more. You sacked them. You sacked Bryce Young about 6 times. Jonathan Gennard, a monster day, 2.5 sacks. Denzel Perryman, a half sack. Blake Cashman, a sack as well. You were able to get to the quarterback, but at the end of the day, it just came down to a last-second field goal. The defense was on the field a lot in the second half. Bryce Young, 22 of 31, 235 yards, 1 touchdown, no interception. Didn't really light it up, but got it done. Showed great movement in the pocket. Found Adam Thielen a lot once again. 11 targets, 8 receptions, 72 yards, and a big catch on 4th down to extend the Panthers' drive, which led to the field goal, the game-winning field goal. But, boys, a tough loss today. I was talking to Caleb and Jacob, and they were saying that this might be the lowest we've been all season, but this might start a spark in this team. They know they should have won this game. They know they had the better football team, but they were just punched in the mouth today by the Carolina Panthers. No excuses, guys. Let me know how you feel about today's disappointing and embarrassing loss, man. Go Houston Texans. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Y'all have a very blessed day.